mean, yeah, I did. I did. It was. Look, I went to the DMV the other day.
Yeah, okay.
Nice segue.
I like this story. I like this. Okay, keep going.
No, so Wade won't understand. Mark, you live in the cool place. Have you ever gone to the California DMV?
Yes, I have.
And was it the worst thing that's ever happened to you, in your opinion?
Compared to the Ohio BMV, which is a really
awesome.
lovely experience. Never a line, like nothing getting in the way. It is fucking awful. It is so.
Is it just as like technologically impaired there as it is here? Though do they still have like Windows 95 computers out in California?
Of course, yeah. But they're touchscreen
I
Windows
want to try and paint a word picture of the one that we went to because.
Go for it. Is it because you can't imagine pictures? Is it because you can't actually think of it, so you have to paint it with words?
Yeah, I have to paint it with words because I can't. Good callback. Yeah. No, but seriously, what the California DMV? I know you're watching. What the fuck happened? So Manny and I had to get our licenses and we had to register our cars, which in Ohio and in North Carolina, kind of a pain. Generally, not so bad. You fill out a form. So I'll explain my most recent other DMV experience. You go in, you take a number, you sit down, and when your number is called, you go and you talk to a person, and that person, checks your paperwork, does the thing. They do everything that you need to do. They do it with you. Mm-hmm. If you have to take a test, they tell you to go take the test, and you come back and see them, and they help. In California, every single step of the process, and it's like a 13-step process, is a different person who has no fucking idea why you're there or what you just did.
Yep.
And it doesn't even, there's not even an order.
Yep.
We walked into the DMV and I was like, okay, so there's going to be like step 1, step 2, like we'll figure out and this lady was like, well, you can go see the document person, you could go on the computer and you can take your test, or you could do your other certification thing. You should probably get a number. You guys might both want numbers. And I was like, wow, okay, well, what do I do first? And she was like, just do whichever one you want first. And I was like, that's not how this works. What's your job? And she was like, I don't know. And then she went and sat behind the counter and did something else. I don't even know why she was standing by the door. This woman was just casually standing by the door answering people's questions, and then I asked her the question and she sort of answered, and then she went and sat at a desk and called a number and started doing someone's driver's license, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Did she actually work there, do you think?
Yeah, well, so and the other thing, there's going to be so many other things, but it's just like, so let me try and remember all the stations that go on in the DMV. There's 2 separate photo stations that do the same thing, but different people will direct you to a different one arbitrarily based on which one they like more. And you can't tell if they do the same thing because they're labeled differently and they look different, but they do the same thing. There's a station where a woman checks your documents and gives you a form that says what you're applying for, but she gives you a form with a bunch of checkboxes on where she's supposed to check what you're applying for, and she doesn't check anything. There's just a form that lists the things you can do at the DMV.
I would recommend further education and training to other people because it is another way to get into the career that you want without taking the traditional route.
Would you like to come to Mexico with me? Sort of. If you love traveling and trying the local cuisines, you will love...
Okay, calm down, self. Hang on, I'm taking a breath. There are 2 separate desks where you can get a number, which you need the number in order to get called to go up to talk to someone who's sitting behind a desk, which they can do like 80% of what you need them to do, but you have to, either before or after you talk to them, you have to have your picture taken, you have to do something on the computer, you have to do something else on the computer, but that part you can only do after you've talked to the person at the desk. Mm-hmm. And also, before you do any of this, you have to magically know that you have to drive your car into a line called verification outside. And for some reason, a dude has to look at your VIN number, write it down, and then make sure he write it down correctly, and then give you a form where he wrote down your VIN number and check that it's correct even though it's literally engraved into the part of your car. And so you need that. And if you don't do that first, when you finally get to the person sitting at the desk inside, they take your number, they send you back outside, you have to do the verification, then you have to get a new number, which, by the way, it opens at 8. Mandy and I got there at 8:15, and we did our number that we got at about 8:20 was not called until 11:30.
Yeah, see, there was your mistake.
So if you get fucked on the number, you gotta wait 3 more hours.
You got yeah, that's the thing. You gotta start lining up at the California DMV. If it opens at 8, you should get there at 7:15.
Yeah,
Just
literally.
So you know.
Mandy's coworkers were like, get there early, get there before it opens, and we were like, we'll wait a little. Like, we don't want to get up at super early. Like,
Yeah.
we got there at like 8:15, and it was like 30 people lined up out the door, no open parking spots.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had to wait for someone to finish and leave to park at the DMV. It was, and the biggest fucking joke of the whole California DMV system is that when you move to the state and you start looking into it, everywhere online and everyone you talk to is like, just make an appointment.
Oh yeah.
All you gotta do is make an appointment, and then you just show up. They only schedule appointments up to 3 months into the future, so it's not infinite. There's that means there are a limited number of appointments that exist, and they're always 100% booked. I have looked on 5 different occasions at DMVs ranging from 15 to an hour and a half, 15 minutes to an hour and a half away from our house. None of them have ever had a single appointment available ever. Who makes these appointments and how do you get one?
Well, you have to know somebody on the inside.
It's fucking impossible.
What you have to do is,
I think it's a scam.
what's hilarious
There's
is
a line at the DMV that's labeled appointments. Nobody fucking came in that line the whole 4 hours we were there. It was just a roped off area where the floor was clean and no humans ever entered. I don't understand how it happens, but it pissed me the fuck off. All right. And also, I made a mistake. So while we were waiting for our number to be called, I had to drive home and obey all the speed limits to get another extra piece of mail, and that was very stressful.
Oh, yeah,
Literally, as I got back to the DMV building, Mandy was calling me and was like, "They called our number. What do we do?" And I was like, "I'm running inside." And I sprinted inside past a tiny Asian family that I almost killed. And then we did it. But holy shit, California DMV! It literally feels like when you walk in, they got 20 people and a bunch of desks and shit. And 5 minutes before the doors had to open, they were like, "All right, everybody, this is the DMV. You all work at the DMV. People need licenses and they need license plates. Your first customer's here. Figure it out." And they were just like, send them to this desk. Ooh, take their picture. I don't know. Like, whoever planned that shit was on meth, man. What the fuck? It was a bad day, Chad. It was a bad day, and I'm very unhappy about it. I'm glad I got to vent this to everyone.
There's nothing I love more than Angry Bob. Angry Bob is my favorite human being.
It comes around rarely, but when it comes around, man, I've been holding that in since Saturday.
Yeah, you're like a comet orbiting the sun real slowly, but when you do a flyby of Earth, and then it was a roped off area, and you know we're coming in everybody. Wow, you just see that?
Yeah, California DMV, worse than anything I've ever had to do in terms of forms and lines, and it's just, what the fuck happened there, man?
Well, if I was ever thinking about moving to California, you just convinced me not to.
Yep, that's the reason. Don't do it.
Yeah, you don't want.
Skip this video if the starving kids in Gaza don't bother you. Right now, thousands of kids in Gaza